Hello everybody. Today's video is how past experiences affect your current mindset and behavior. I've written down a little function, a little equation here that's not really any math, but I'm going to guide you through it and explain what it really means. So we have an experience which turns into an emotion, and that emotion turns into a behavior and mindset shift that you have, and then we replug this in to the experience of life, and then we continue going. Okay, so what does this mean? An experience is basically something that happens to us. Something that happens to us can be your mom walking into your room, your friend saying hello to you, maybe it's your bus driver being late, maybe you're late to school, maybe there was someone who cut in front of you in traffic. It could be anything, any type of experience. So something that happens to you. Could be a storm. Technically, a storm is happening to you. But I'll tell you what's not an experience. An experience is not a person in Thailand right now fishing for fish. That's not an experience that I'm having. An experience I can have, as soon as it doesn't enter my reality, it's not an experience I'm having. If my dog were to die, but I don't see her die, I just hear about it, that is an experience I have felt though, because it's now affected me. An experience is something that happens to you, something that affects you, something that enters your reality. From this, we get an emotion, so we respond a certain way. So our body will make chemicals, and it'll give us in a certain mood, okay? So we have some type of chemical response, is the emotion we feel, whether that be joy, happiness, sadness, a whole bunch of things. That is how we're going to feel. And then from this, what happens is that we have a mindset behavior shift. Basically, the way we think about the world, the way we think about the world changes. And then we continue living our life with this worldview, this type of mindset about life. And we continue, something else happens to us, we get another response, and then we change a little bit. And so what happens is that in the early days of life, we don't have many experiences to go off. And so everything is an emotional response, and then we change the way, and then another thing happens to us, another response, and we change our way again. But imagine someone who's, 99 years old. They've gone through this process 1 trillion times. Versus someone who's like 2 years old, they've only gone through this process 100 times. Meaning the person who's 2 is way more acceptable to having their worldviews change versus the person who's 99. If something happens to the person of 99, they're going to have all the reference experiences back in their life to say, should I change my mind about this? Should it be different? And they're still going to change it, of course, but their change may not be as much. Versus a 13-year-old, listen, if I go up to a 13-year-old and say, fuck you, kid, and I bullied the shit out of him, his worldview is probably going to change. If I do that to someone who's like 40 years old or something, he probably is going to have more self-confidence. He's going to have more reference experiences to be like, and this doesn't matter too much. My worldview is still going to change a little bit, obviously. You can't go through an experience and not have your worldview change. It has to change a little bit, right? Even if I were to like see this duck right here, if this duck wasn't here, my world would be different. Even if it's in the slightest way, the experiences I see a duck, I have a very, very little emotional response to it. It's very small, but it's there, and then my worldview changes. Is it insane how my worldview changes? No. But maybe next time I see a duck in public, it'll remind me of this guy, and then these little things will change how I go about my life, just from even how small it is. Let's take this and talk about something way, way bigger. If we were to talk about now, say, you come home from school, you get a bad grade on your test, and this is the experience. I come home from school, I get a bad grade on my test. This is the experience. The emotion I feel from what is about to happen to me, okay? So let's just say this, the bad grade, let's just only talk about that grade on the test. That's the experience. Now the emotion I feel is probably sadness. It's probably, not good enough. It's a feeling of inadequacy. How could I not do that? And now that's the chemical response I have. Now my worldview changes. Now it's, am I a person who even does good on tests? Am I a person who's supposed to do well on tests? Or I'm just someone who isn't supposed to be that person? I'm just not that person who does good on tests. I'm just not that person. And then you live your life thinking, oh, I'm not that person who does good in school. I'm not that person who does well when it comes to this type of things. I'm not going to raise my hand for that. And I'm not going to be as confident when I go to answer this question. I'm not going to really put my all into it. And it keeps going and going and going. Now imagine you come home and you show your mom this bad test mark, or you show your parent, your dad, this bad test mark, and he gets very happy and he's very understanding. Oh, that's okay. You tried your best. Here, we'll do it next time. Let's go over some things that we struggled with. We're not going to learn about this subject anymore, but it's okay. Next time, I'll help you more. On your next test, we got this, okay? So what you have experienced from there is my dad is okay with it, or your parent, whoever, guardian, mother, grandmother, is okay with it. And that's the experience. The emotion you felt was understanding, and now you've connected these two. The emotion, the experience, and your emotion are connected. It's, I did bad on my test, and I showed my parent, but he was understanding. Now my mindset and behavior is, when I do bad on a test, and hopefully your parent is smart or the guardian is smart, and they're able to say, this doesn't define you as a person, it's just one grade. Next time we'll try better, or we'll study a bit differently. And now you go into the next test thinking, oh, it's okay if I do bad. I mean, it's okay if I don't get a good grade. It's understandable. It's not define me as a person. There's always future things I can do. But also, I'm not carrying this, I'm not good enough. It doesn't define who I am. I'm still who I am. I'm still my person. This one grade doesn't really affect me. Now, let's take scenario 2. We show our dad we have a really bad grade on our test, and he gets very emotional. He gets very loud and yelling and angry at us. Now the emotion we get, the chemical response, is not that of being felt understood, but feeling misunderstood, and now even being hurt physically or emotionally. And now the connection that we relate between the experience and the emotion is, if I show my dad a bad test, or I show my guardian a bad test mark, the emotion I feel is that of misunderstanding and aggression and anger and negativity, basically. And now the way I think about the world changes. It's, if I show someone something bad about me, usually something negative happens. Versus if I show something bad about me, I'm met with understanding and compassion and how to fix it. And now this is the type of mindset and behavior that is much more healthy and positive. Hey, if I do something wrong or bad, or I'm not good enough for something, it doesn't mean I'm not a good person. It simply means that, either I didn't study enough for it, or I wasn't prepared enough for it, or I was just having a bad day, my mind was unclear. It has nothing to do with I am a worthless human being. Now we go into the next experience. I'm still able to have that positivity, that clarity, that openness, that friendliness, versus, oh shit, if I show something bad, the world is going to hurt me. If I show something bad, the world is going to lash out. And now that emotion that you get is now taken inside of you a little bit, and you repeat the process. And maybe this happens a whole bunch of times while you're a kid, and now on the 100th time that this happens, you're like, I've already expected it. Fuck this, fuck the world, fuck everyone, fuck everything, I hate everything. Just so much fucking more negative, because the experience that happened, that initiated it, was different. It's understanding versus aggression and misunderstanding, right? So how past experiences affect your current mindset and behavior is because the more times you go through this loop, the more it gets reinforced. The more that you're like, oh shit, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Let's talk about another example, okay? Another example is, say you're walking down the street and you say hello to like a friend of yours. 2 reactions, positive, negative. Friend says hello. Emotion is, yay, happy, I gotta see my friend. Behavior and mindset shift is, when I see my friend, Usually positive things happen. Let's go, baby. I love seeing my friend. Next time I see my friend, I'll say it again. I'll say it like, yeah, let's go. Okay, versus experience, I see my friend. Emotion, yo, what's up, friend? Fuck off, bro. I don't like you. Get the fuck away from me. Whoa, way negative. Mindset and behavior is, now when I see my friend or when I see a friend, I'm going to be way more cautious about what is happening. I may not even say hello to them because I'm scared on how it will make me feel. It could be as simple as telling a joke. I tell a joke, people don't laugh, they tell you to shut up. Mindset and behavior has now shifted. And the more this goes over and over, and I genuinely believe it can only be a positive or negative experience, even if it's like a neutral that's positive because it's not negative. So it can either be positive or negative. And the positive or negative experience affects the mindset behavior you have. And so when you go into the next experience, you're going to have this mindset that's either positive or negative. And so now someone can be like, they can say something ambiguous. They can be like, that's a nice tie you have. And you can be like, wow, you're just going to fucking insult me on my tie? Nice, bro. Of course. And you think it's sarcastic because so many times in the past has a emotional circuit of someone insults me happens, I feel sad. Now people are just mean to me on purpose. People are mean to me on purpose. People are mean to me on purpose. People are mean to me on purpose. Oh, wait a minute. Now we have an experience that's positive. But the emotion still is negative. What? Well, that's because the circuit has been going so much. You're a loser. I know you're a loser. Sad. I know I am. You're a loser. Sad. I know I am. I know I'm a loser. 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 You're awesome. Ding, ding, ding. Doesn't register. You're awesome. No, I'm a loser. You're awesome. No, I'm a loser. No, I'm a loser. You're awesome. No, I'm a loser. Doesn't matter. It's not breaking. So even someone can call you awesome, amazing, beautiful, good looking, handsome, every positive thing, but your circuit is already negative. And so you take everything as negative. Everything as an insult. Everything as a slight. Everything as a diss, which is not, a person with a positive mindset does not do that. They actually do the opposite. They've been treated so positively, hey, you're awesome, you're cool, man, that they take everything as funny and as positive. So they may say, your hair is just looking very interesting today. And he just, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Right? His hair's all messy. Someone goes up, your hair's looking very, well, I don't know what to say. Well, thank you, bro. I appreciate it anyways. Right? You take it as positive. And you genuinely feel it as that positive. And so that is the difference between the mindset, the mindsets that you have, how it genuinely affects you. You have a positive and very negative mindset about the world, and that comes from this past experience and how it was dealt with, the emotions that came from it, right? Okay. Your body can be in two states at a time. It can either be in a flight, fight, or a shutdown. Your body can be in one of these three, or your body can be in the rest and digest. When your body is here, you feel at ease, you feel peaceful, feel happy. Positive. All around, pretty positive. When we look on this side, though, our body feels tense, we're very nervous, and we're unhappy. Unhappy. Very negative. Okay, so flight and flight is negative, rest and digest is positive, and we feel certain things when we're in these states of mind. So if we're always, however, in an environment, that causes us to always, or for the most of the time, be in this flight or flight mode, say we're in flight or flight 75% of the time, or in rest and digest 25% of the time, well, this is the experience, the emotion, and then the mindset. The experience comes from the environment. So, say someone comes home, they get very loud, they get very angry, they get very hostile, they start name calling you, they start being very loud and even aggressive somewhat in their tone, in their language, swearing, just very hostile, right? Very negative emotions coming out of that person. That's the experience. And the emotion is, well, they're feeling negative, hostile. The emotion is flight, or shut down. Me personally, I'm more of a shut down person, meaning I won't fight back, I won't run away, I'll kind of just shut down, block out the world around me. And you're doing this because you're trying to cope with the current experience that is happening. If someone's yelling at you, being very aggressive, or there's things happening around you that you don't want to be part of, well, you're either going to fight against that, you're going to run away from it, or you're going to try to block it out. And when you do try to block it out, your mind kind of makes everything fuzzy around, and you get very trapped in your head. And if you're in that mode, 75% of your life, of your upbringing, holy shit, that is going to have an insane mental toll on your body. Imagine being in the flight or flight response for hours at a time, where your muscles are tense, where your brain cannot think clearly. Having that hours and hours at a time, day after day, is going to do long-term effects onto your brain. Now, say you still have 25% rest and digest, you're going to still know what it feels like to be happy, still going to know what it likes to feel relaxed and stuff, but that may come when this person who brings this experience isn't there. And as soon as that person who brings this experience does come out, automatically this emotion starts to rise. So it's not even that they're doing anything wrong, it's just now we're in the environment that this usually happens, and now we're getting this emotion already rising. And that comes from the mindset, right? The mindset is, as soon as I feel the presence of this person, I'm going to be in this fight or flight response, because your body is already preparing for what is about to happen. It's already getting the adrenaline going, it's already getting pumped up, ready to fight back, ready to run from the danger that you suspect is ahead. And a lot of time does come from a parent. And I think what parents don't understand is that when you yell at a kid, when you're very, bashful to a kid, they're thinking a lot of things. But I would say one of the things is, like, I live with you. If you get too mad at me, and you may kick me out, and I'm not trying to upset you, but if you get too mad at me, you get too angry at me, I'm going to think that you're about to kick me out of the house, about where we're living. And as a child, you may not think like that, but it may come very instinctually, where it's like, well, you're my caregiver. If I piss you off, or you're mad at me all the time, and this is like that, and I get you mad, I don't want to get kicked out of the house, I don't want to get kicked out from, the care of the people I'm around, because I need you to survive. Like, I'm a grown person, I don't need anyone now. But when you're much younger, when you're like a child, a teen, it's much different. And so the kind of consequences from a parent yelling at you is much more drastic in your mind, because it's like, the person who is giving me life, the person who's keeping me alive, is getting mad at me. This is very not good, because they're going to kick me out. I have to be as perfect as I can for this person to keep me around, basically, so I can survive. And if I piss them off more, I'm just going to get disbanded, kicked out, and I'm going to die. Especially in the primal times, where if you got kicked out of the, tribe or whoever you were with, and you're out on your own in the savannah, you're most likely going to die. And so it is genuinely a feeling of life or death when a parent does yell at you. It's just like, oh shit. And some people may not feel that, but I would guarantee you some people do, that they get this feeling of life or death. And that is your body going to fight and flight, or rest and digest. So once you are in these modes for long enough, mindsets start to happen. When you're in the fight or flight mode, mindsets start to happen. You start to be less expressive. You try not to step on anyone's toes. You try not to stand out. You try not to be noticeable, because you don't want to bring any attention to yourself that may put you in this mode again. Versus always being in rest and digest, you're laid back, you're chill, you say what you want to say, whatever's on your mind, you say and do it. You're much more able to express yourself when you're on this side. And I would say that most people should be in like rest and digest for like 99% of their lives. If you're living in like there should be very little reason why you're ever in flight or flight mode when it's not actually a life or death situation. Everything other than that should be met with some type of compassion, some type of understanding. If there's a tiger, though, in front of me and my kid, and I don't have time to be understanding and compassion, I'm going to say, Jimmy, get the fuck over here. I'm going to grab him. I'm going to start running. That's different. That's life or death. But when Jimmy comes home and he has a bad test grade, I'm going to say, Jimmy, you fucking idiot. Are you fucking kidding me? Because what that is doing is putting Jimmy in this fight or flight response because they genuinely are fearing for their lives. Their caretaker, their life giver, the person who gives them life, who sustains them, gives them a house and a bed, is yelling at them. If this person is yelling at me and is mad at me, they may kick me out. They may leave me. They may abandon me. And so, they get very shut down, and they either feel these emotions of flight, fight, or response, or shut down. They have all these emotions in their body gets tense. They want to let it out. Sometimes parents don't let it out, don't let their kids let it out. Nope, you're not hitting anything, you keep it in, you're going to sit there. And so you have all this emotion inside of you, but you're not allowed to run away, you're not allowed to fight. So you shut down with all this stuff inside of you and repeat. Now it's, I come home with a grade and it's maybe sometimes even good, and I still am fearful. Maybe I come home with a grade and I come home with any type of wrong thing, right? I want to ask my parents for just a little bit of, I want to ask my parents for like $10. Oh, they may yell at me though. I want to ask my parents this. They may yell at me though. And now you start correlating everything with maybe a parent or someone with this flight or flight response. And that really leads to a large disconnect between the person, the kid, and the parent, the parental figure. Versus always in that rest and digest mode, your kid's way more able to express themselves to you. But that's because you've met them with compassion and understanding instead of rage and negativity. And people who have this walk around life, you can feel it. You can feel it. People walk around this in life, you can feel it. You can feel it. There's some people who I talk to, I'm like, wow, you're just way too happy. You simply are like a happy person. And I'm like, what the fuck? Genuinely, I look at people sometimes like, you're just really, really happy. Naturally. That's amazing. And then I look at other people, I'm like, yes, I can see that you understand these feelings. Some people I look at it like, you've never been over here, have you? You've very rarely been, at least. They're either very good at hiding it or this just doesn't affect them anymore. Now, what do you think of a kid who's always been yelled at by their parents or always been talking down to, been meaned by? What do you think they're going to think when they walk into a new environment? Are they going to think everyone's my friend? Are they going to think, oh, these people are awesome and cool? No, they're going to think, oh, these people are going to hurt me like everyone else does. That's the mindset. So the experience leads you to this emotion. You live in this emotion long enough, your mindset about the world is going to be, oh, people are going to want to hurt me. People naturally are going to want to make fun of me, yell at me. They're naturally going to want to hit me. They're naturally going to want to be mean and negative towards me because that's just how everyone else is. That's just how the other people are. I'm just expecting this. And your mindsets and behaviors are going to let that come true. If you believe everyone's going to hate you, you're going to do and talk and act in a way in which people are going to hate you, are going to feel that way. You're naturally, subconsciously going to make those mindsets come true. Because that's how you think. If I think everyone's my friend, I'm going to act like everyone's my friend. If I think everyone's my enemy, I'm going to act like everyone's my enemy. And then they're going to become my enemy. Even though they don't even know who the fuck I am, they don't understand what I'm thinking. Because I act like this, they're going to do that. I'm going to be very closed off, very less expression. They may even give me a compliment or something. I'll be like, yeah, whatever. Right? Just so negative. Versus the other person, always in this mood is going to be able to be like, oh, you guys are my friend. Yo, what's up? We're having a good time. Everything's awesome here. Let's go talk to some other people. Let's go do this and that. And so there's a clear difference between the behaviors and mindsets versus a person who's been in this a lot of their upbringing versus this a lot of their upbringing. All right. Thank you guys for watching. That's been this video. I hope you learned something from it. It's a very interesting type of topic I love talking about because I see it be true in my life and other people's lives. And it's always good to be aware of this because sometimes all you can really have control over is over here. You don't have control over the experiences. You don't have control over the emotions you feel, right? If your dog dies tomorrow, your mom dies tomorrow, you don't have control to be like, oh, it doesn't affect me. That's just going to affect you. But what you do have control is what you think and how you act. And so if someone actually does give you a positive compliment, and your automatic response is to be negative and coil up and to reject that, you can think that's a stupid thing. Okay, that is my natural programming come in. Take that away and then respond to it as a positive person would, as a person who loves their life and loves other people would. And then slowly by rewiring the mindset, what happens is that the experiences become more positive, the emotions become more positive, and then it all circles back. Everything is this positive cycle, is this positive feedback loop of negativity or positivity. And you want to at least switch this part to positive so the rest can start getting in that order too. It all feeds into each other. So with that, boys, if you have any more questions for me, you can ask a message on my Discord server, or if you want to work with me one-on-one to find the relationships, have the confidence, overcome any anxieties or social troubles that you may be having, you can book a call for me for my one-on-one coaching. It is a bit expensive, but it fucking works. So with that, boys, I hope you enjoyed the video so much. I love you guys. Peace out. Goodbye.